So the universal truth is that parents want what is best for their kid. Period. Full stop. There's nothing more to that. Whether they're neurodivergent or neurotypical, parents want what is best for their kid. Now, not only do we want what's best for them, but we want to help them get the best of all the things. The best education, the best friendships, the best jobs, the best romantic partners. And the challenge with best is that it's a really, really tricky word because society has this definition of best, and it's kind of rooted in that American dream, this idea of money and success and popularity and bigger houses being better or being best. And we can often get swept into this as kind of the penultimate goal of life is to achieve these things, and that's the measure of best. When we discover that we have a neurodivergent kid, best can still mean all those other things, but we broaden our experience, our definition to mean acceptance and happiness and being respected for their unique gifts and talents and finding their place in the world and finding a fulfilling place in the world. So, like I said in the last podcast episode, now if you haven't listened to it, go back and take a listen about neurodivergent youth and gap years. Take a listen. But the world has been built for neurotypical people to excel. That's just a fact. It's the dominant brain type, the way of patterns of thinking. So it was designed for that particular profile to excel. And as parents of neurodivergent teens, we can look forward and we can use our lived experience in this neurotypical designed world and pair that with our profound knowledge of our kid, and we can foresee the challenges that lie ahead and those specific challenges to their neurodiversity. Now, we have experienced this at all stages of life, from fitting in middle school to being identified and needing some unique support in high school, to perhaps concerns about consent and flirting in the dating world when social cues aren't being picked up on. But when most neurotypical kids are launching into independence and adulthood, we can see that our kids' path is not quite as clear-cut. And when things are not clear-cut, as parents, we want to step in and we want to be those bulldozer parents, the ones that are going to be the one who clear-cuts the obstacles or the barriers that exist. All those things that might cause our kid to feel pain or rejection because of their neurodiversity. And as parents with peers going through a similar stage of life with their neurotypical kids, we can see our friends stepping back from their parenting responsibility because the world at large knows how to support a neurotypical kid. Their kid doesn't need the same levels of advocacy and support and accommodations. And no one knows more about what your kid needs than you. You're their parent. Well, that's not entirely true, okay? Your kid, they know what they need, but often neurodivergent traits prevent them from being the best advocates for their needs. And their teenage brain is also wired to prevent them from asking for supports because it will highlight how they're different. And at this time of life, fitting in is such an important component to that teenage brain. So it really is an ongoing dance, really, a figuring out when to let go and launch them, or figuring out even if you can let go, if it's safe to release them out into the wild, to let them flee the nest. So we fear at the same time letting go and seeing the challenges that occur, but we also fear not letting go and not allowing them to develop that sense of independence and that underlying fear as somebody who's always been there as the support and the provider of the things that they need, their advocate, this fear of if they remain dependent on me and something happens to me, what's going to happen to them? As we all get older, as our kids get older, that can be a really strong fear that we hold. We want them to be successful even after we're long gone, which hopefully, fingers crossed, is going to be many, many, many decades from now. But it's still a thought that exists there. And in this transition into adulthood, it can really bring that forward and put that at the forefront of our minds. Now, while I don't have the answers to all of these fears and concerns and realities that you're going through as a parent, I hope that I can provide you with at least the reassurance that all of these feelings and experiences are shared amongst parents of neurodivergent youth. You are not alone in this experience, and I hope that brings you some comfort that this is not just you. It is not just your kid. It is not you as a parent judging themselves. This is a shared experience.